Press the button without even realising it. So there we go. Great fun, isn't it? Hi, it's Lisa Moore, Fit for More. Hope you're well. I thought I would come in and share a couple of things today because last week I ran my 5-day challenge. I had some fantastic ladies in the challenge last week with lots of big light bulb moments going on. But the purpose of the challenge was really to help them to be able to put themselves first in their life. And this isn't about, it's not about being selfish and going, I'm more important than everybody else. It's not about that. But it's actually about becoming more conscious and aware of where you're sitting in your life right now and how you're really feeling. It's about feeling more in control of your life, having more freedom, feeling calmer and all that. So that was the purpose of the challenge. But what comes up often in these challenges, in my coaching programs, and just generally with working with the people that I've worked with in my fitness studio over time, is this feeling of having too much to do, and it's having this huge big to-do list. And I love lists, and I've got notepads everywhere in my house with lists and ideas, and I just love writing it all down. But sometimes it can be so overwhelming that you just don't know what to do next. And I just wanted to give you 2 little tips. And they're not things that I talk about in the challenge, actually. The first one is when you've got your to-do list of things to do, have a look at the deadline. Because quite often you've put the deadline on yourself that isn't actually the real deadline. It isn't the one. It's I really would like this to happen by X. But actually, if you really sat down and got clarity on why you needed to get this thing, whatever it is, done, does it really need to be done by that date? Or are you just putting huge amounts of pressure on yourself? So look at it from your perspective. If you're giving yourself these tight deadlines, and actually the world is not going to end if you miss that deadline by a day or 2 days or even a week or even a month, then actually think about that deadline and think about where is it on the priority list. But also, you know, we're looking at this from a work perspective, so, you know, work life is very different right now, and I'm sure that with remote working and working from home and things, deadlines can be sort of put upon you. But actually, sometimes being able to ask the question, and it will feel uncomfortable, but ask the question: what is the real deadline? Do you really need me to complete this report by 5 o'clock today? Or is it just that you want it done so that you don't have to worry about it and you know that it's done? But actually the reality is that person is not going to deal with it for 3, 4, 5 days. You know, we've all been in that situation where we've spent hours really getting stressed and frustrated about getting something done on time. And then nothing happens. I remember when I worked in corporate world, doing tenders. Oh, I used to hate tenders because there was always that deadline, wasn't there? And you always left it right until the last minute, and you'd be up at 3 o'clock in the morning because you needed to get the tender out by 9 o'clock the next day. And we'd all be working really long hours and eating rubbish food and stuff. And you'd get the tender in, and then there'd be like this sort of nothing happened. And quite often the company you sent the tender to would take weeks and weeks to come back to you, and you'd be like, well, I know deadlines are important. I'm not saying that deadlines aren't important, but I think when you're feeling overwhelmed, when you feel like there's just too much to do, getting an idea of what the real deadline is, your own and somebody else's, can take that pressure off. So that's my first tip, is to think about, you know, what's the real deadline here? The second tip is actually about getting perspective. And it sort of links in with what I've already talked about, is get perspective on the pressure that you're putting on yourself. And the thing that needs to be done is the world going to end? Or what's the worst that is going to happen if you don't get it done? You know, get perspective on, You know, it might be that you go, oh, I need to clear my garage out. And I do need to clear my garage out. But in the grand scheme of life, where I am today, does it matter that I have a messy garage? No. Would I like it not to be messy? Absolutely yes. But is it important? Is my life going to end if I don't do it this weekend? No. So have a look at those things that you've put on your list and get perspective on whether it's important or not. You know, as a business owner, and the job I do, that I do a lot of social media. This is one of them. But if I was to have missed this live by an hour or by a day, or actually hadn't done it this week because other things got in the way, would my world end? No, it wouldn't. So deadlines are important, and having your to-do list is important, but we need to spend time thinking about what's on that list. You know, as part of the challenge, we talk about the to-do list and changing it to a will or won't, a should or could. And it can be a real light bulb moment when you've got this huge long list of I must do, I have to, and then you change it from actually, do you have to do that? Is it really important? And you can move it on to you know, it's a priority 2 or it's a priority 3. And suddenly you're left with 2 things that you have to do today. And they are important. You have got perspective on it. There is a deadline, like your MOT's run out and you have to get the car to the garage to get the MOT. That's a have to. You have to file your tax return by the 31st of January. That's a have to. So it's about getting an idea of what that real deadline is and getting perspective on what you're telling yourself you need to do. So I just thought that might be useful, interesting. And I start my new SHIP program, which is a 6-week program that starts on Monday, where I help with all these type of things. These are the sort of questions that come up. These are the sort of things that come out in the training that we look at. It is reframing and looking at things differently, and it's amazing the difference that can happen when you get a bit of a reframe, or you get somebody that challenges you on it, and suddenly you go, oh, okay, I see, I get it differently. So the doors are open for the SHIP program. I will put the link in below. If you're interested to find out a little bit more, then I'm very happy to have a discovery call with you if you want to see whether it's good. If not, click the link, join the group. It's £247 for the 6-week program. We start on Monday, as I say, and I'd love to have you with me. Have a great day, and make sure you get some perspective on your goals for today. Take care.